If you're not concerned about the stage weight, I do believe you might be wasting your time competing. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip is some Pellegrino. That was the most unprofessional, disgusting sip I think I've done on this camera in a while. ASMR Spritz is intelligent iron. There are your noises. All right, quick rant today, but I feel like this is important and you can share this with an aspiring competitor. Stage weight is pretty much everything. I'm gonna say pretty much, but like if you are not gonna hit this stage weight, and I'm gonna have Andrew throw up the IFBB stage weights for all the classes, and I'll have Andrew throw up the NPC stage weights for all the classes. So these are the weight limits, and you need to really pay attention to how tall you are and what weight class you're in, what height class you're in, to come out the heaviest on the stage weight for your best chance of winning. These freaking shows, they will suck you dry of money. You're paying the guru, you're paying the diet, you're paying for the fucking PDs, paying for the fat burners, you're paying for the tan, you're paying to travel to the show. If you're doing all of this and coming in 10 to 15 pounds under stage weight, you're gonna go to the judges after and they're gonna say, you need to get bigger. They might point out some, some points you could work on, but really they're gonna say, all they're gonna say is you need to get bigger, right? This is like the old school guys would talk like, hey, don't do a show until you're ready for a show. Back when it was the Brothers in Iron in the old school days, like everyone would tell you when you were ready to do a show, when you were big enough, when you were ready to go. And then you would do a prep. Nowadays with social media, everyone wants these preps to post on their social media, and I see all these shows half-assed. And then obviously when you do a prep, you're not gaining muscle, you're maintaining muscle, trying to showcase your muscle at the lowest body fat, but you're yo-yoing what should have been an off season where you're pushing on more tissue and you're really not chasing size, which is the prize. We're gonna continue that motto over here at Russo's channel. Size is the prize. Actual muscle tissue is the prize of abusing performance enhancing drugs. Not being shredded 24/7 and not gaining any weight and looking the same year after year after year, redlining your body, gaining tissue over time, which eventually you will be able to maintain on less and less and less gear until you're on HRT, TRT, and you have a significant physique that for longevity purposes is maintainable and very impressive, but you put in that time to gain that size. With these stage weights, especially classic physique. So I think my weight cutoff for classic physique, I'll have Andrew throw it up, is either 209 or 215. Meaning, I think my stage weight right now for classic, I weigh 260 this morning. I think I'm around 202 stage weight, 195 at the absolute lowest 6%, maybe 200, 202 at a little bit upper end, maybe a little bit fuller. So I am not capped at the stage weight. In my opinion, it will probably take me 2 or 3 shows to nail down that stage weight, but I am close within striking distance. If I were to compete when I was 20, 21 years old, my stage weight in classic would have probably been 180 pounds flat, 175 pounds flat, which you guys aren't discrediting a lot of these competitors. I know a lot of you guys never been to shows. I've been to 10, 12 shows. I've seen what these individuals look like. I've seen what they've weighed in at, and a 190 pound stage weight is pretty freaking big. Now you're used to seeing the IFBB Pro superstars with their crazy stage weights, but an NPC classic physique 190 is pretty big. 180, 175 stage weight in a height class of my height, the judge is just going to tell me to get bigger, and I pretty much wasted that entire prep other to get pictures on stage, which if you want to do a prep one time to experience the mental fortitude, the resilience of doing a prep and reprogram your mind and bring that mentality into other things in your life, great. If you're trying to win a show, if you're trying to go somewhere with your physique on a competitive stage, stage weight is hypercritical in you hitting that. You see in the IFBB Pro Superstar, lineup of classic guys, when that stage weight got added, C-Bum came in even bigger. He's capping that stage weight so freaking hard, nailing it every single time. And that is what keeps him very far ahead, obviously. It's like one of these things where, oh, C-Bum can't get any better, he can't get bigger, they've moved the stage weight up looks better, bigger, and he jerry-rigs himself right at that stage weight cap, meaning if I had the same genes as C-Bum, trained like him, and was competitive to dethrone him, if I was 2, 3, 4 pounds off that stage weight cap and he nailed the stage weight cap, almost like starved himself into the stage weight cap, then he will blow me away on stage. Those couple little pounds really do matter when you're standing next to someone, and that could be the difference between first and second. You should really work with your coach, your guru, your trainer, whatever you're working with, to hit a stage weight that's as close to your cap as possible. You need to realize that is the name of the game. The actual size, right? The tissue size, the amount you are at 6% body fat, the weight you are at 6% body fat is what's going to determine how good you are baseline before we weigh the prettiness of insertions and how everything sits on you. If you're not concerned about this stage weight, I do believe you might be wasting your time competing. This is why I haven't jumped into competing until I felt like at least I could hit the stage weight. Sure, my muscle insertions aren't the best, blah, blah, blah. But at least I weighed this on stage. I will look the best I can at the top of my weight class, and I might be able to outmuscle someone with more pretty insertions, better sweeps, better aesthetics, whatever. I came in with more size. You've seen this with Dorian Yates, how he outsized everyone in the top of bodybuilding. This goes for the local, to get the pro card. This goes for the local NPC. Come in at the stage weight, come in conditioned at the stage weight. How do you determine the stage weight? In my opinion, right? You go to the website, okay, how tall am I? I know guys who will shrink their height or they'll elongate themselves to either get more or less stage weight cap to stand next to people to get the best advantage. Then you go to your guru, your coach, create an off season where you probably sit 40, 45 pounds above, start using anabolic compounds to build the tissue, and then you slowly refine into the tippy top limit of your stage weight limit to try to achieve the best competitive look, that when you stand next to someone, if someone has prettier insertions but they're lighter than you, maybe that day the judges go towards size, and they've been known to go towards size over insertions, right? They've been known to go towards size and condition over insertions. I've seen it in person where size and conditioning wins over insertions. If you don't understand that, don't waste your time doing a prep if you can't hit that stage weight. For years, I'm 27 years old at this point, and I can finally hit a local classic physique stage weight with my genes. I know for a fact that I am very close to the stage weight limit. You can say what you want about my muscle insertions, my genetics. What you can't say is the amount of tissue I hold. I sit at 260. I will come in at 205, and I will try to get as close to that weight cap as possible. And sure, I might be at a disadvantage on insertions, prettiness, aesthetics, but I will come in hyper conditioned. I will come in with tissue that pushes me right at that weight cap. And that is pretty much the best I can work with. That's most of you on the other side of the screen. You definitely know if you're in the prettiness category, and if you're in the prettiness aesthetics category where you look much bigger than you actually are, you can add to that and you can go faster and farther in the pro ranks if you just take consideration that you have a gift in bodybuilding, but that stage weight and that conditioning needs to be earned. Conditioning takes forever. Muscle maturity takes forever. So you might as well spend your younger years in off seasons instead of focusing on doing the show for Instagram or YouTube clout. I never did that. I could have done that. I wanted to give it my best shot. I wanted to hit a stage weight. I've seen tons of guys go pro and classic. I know what they weighed on stage. I know their height. I met them after the show, and I've seen what they personally look like off season as well as in their, prep at 6% body fat. If you can't come in at 6-7% body fat at that stage weight, you might as well take another off season, get more tissue, get more tissue, get more tissue. And then when you come down and you nail the stage weight, they won't be telling you to get bigger. They will tell you, hey, you have an imbalance. We want you to work on your aesthetics. That's much more useful to where you could go into another show immediately after with those tweaks and potentially get a pro card, which would elevate your status in the fitness world versus like, hey man, everything looks good, but like I'm a judge here and judging you against the other competitors. You need to get much bigger. And that's just useless because that's just like, okay, I should have just went into a 2, 3, 4 year off season, got the size I want. It is what it is. I see a lot of this. You know, there's a guys who get their pro card very quickly, and then there's this awkward pause after they get their pro card very quickly, meaning that they're competing against the big boys now. They don't have that stage weight for the pro ranks, and they're constantly trying to do an off season, still stay in shape for their Instagram, still stay in shape for their YouTube, do an off season, where in my personal opinion, the guys who go the farthest in the pro ranks, not only do they have pretty muscle insertions, they respond good to steroids, they're very tapered, they have good aesthetics, they understand stage weight, and by the time they earn their pro card, they are already capped at the NPC Classic Physique stage weight to a point where they're sucking in to hit the NPC Classic Physique stage weight. Once they get the pro card, then they immediately are able to jump into the pro ranks and have a pro career that's not full of these like long off seasons. In my opinion, they did it right. You want to run through the pro ranks if you're that guy. And I know some of you guys on the other side of the camera are that guy. Just take into consideration your stage weights. That's pretty much the big thing that I feel like is so lost with my gen and the lower generations. Is like, yeah, you can look real big on a camera. You can look massive on a camera. Go on a stage. You'll get humbled real fucking quick, and you'll realize why the really good bodybuilders, if you follow their vlogs, especially the ones trying to catch C-bum, look like that in their off season. They look great on stage, but they look like that in their off season for a reason. They're not playing no games. They're actually chasing actual muscle tissue size. I'll have Andrew throw up Miracle Bear. You've watched Miracle Bear relentlessly chase tissue to a point where he's very close to Ramon. He knew the game of stage weight, and he's been after it to a point where I think in his off season, I go, yeah, that's a IFBB pro superstar who's chasing more tissue for his stage weight. And he's constantly adding new tissue making improvements, where that mentality is not good for social media. He looks kind of like the bloat lord a little bit on camera. I ain't making fun of it. He's doing what he needs to do. But I'm saying for the social media stars who compete, you'll never continuously progress your physique unless your stage weight is increasing. Or you'll never progress your gym physique if your weight's not increasing. Nowadays, I look better once I go down to 225 than I did before sitting at 225. Because I've made gains over the years. I put on more tissue. This becomes hypercritical when you're 6% body fat. When you're 6% body fat, that's where that stage weight really adds up, where 3 pounds of stage weight is a big fucking deal. You see IFBB pro superstars, oh, I gained, 1 to 5 pounds of stage weight this year. That's insane. That's very good linear progress. That's a good ultimate marker tracker that you're going in the right direction with your pro career by constantly keeping track of that stage weight, the off-season weight, how you're looking during the off season versus in the prep, and then how you maintain the ultimate package once you're peaked for that show. Size is the prize. Know the stage weights required for your height, coming around that stage weight. Maybe don't jump into competing for the notoriety of, oh, I did a show for my social media. Why don't you tell your social media, hey, I want to do it and be the most competitive I can be. I might not have the best genes, I might not have the best insertions, but we're going to nail this stage weight. This is my goal stage weight. I'm going to sit up, bulked up until I feel like I can hit this stage weight, which gives me the most competitive advantage to someone who's genetically superior in aesthetics and insertions. This is the game you got to play. Size is the prize. Muscle size truly does matter more than aesthetics most of the time, because you either have aesthetics or you don't, in my opinion. That's based on insertion, and you can absolutely beat guys with better aesthetics, better insertions by conditioned, heavier stage weight. That's conditioned as fuck. That's how you win. I've seen my friends in pro bodybuilding beat more genetically gifted guys by out conditioning them and having more stage weight. If you looked at them on a picture, you'd be like, why does that guy win? If you looked at him in person, you would be drawn towards the bigger stage weight and the more conditioned muscle. I'll see you guys in my next video.